Hello, everyone. Today's interview is with Dalia Ali, and we're going to talk about how she transitioned from her job to doing her own business. And she's going to come online soon, and we're going to listen to all of her adventures and how she started her career in sustainable design and furniture. It's such an exciting story. I'm so excited for all of you to hear it out. And please feel free to ask any questions in the below here in the question bar. And I'm just waiting for her to come online so we can hear what happened with her and how she transitioned from a day job to her own freelancing. Here she is. Hi, Dalia. If anyone has any questions, please ask below, and we're going to try our best to answer all of your questions. Here we go. Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah.
Excited for this talk.
I'm so excited. By the way, this is my first time ever on live.
Good.
Hey, well,
Yay! Glad to be the first.
I think.
I'm sure you're gonna have many more live talks.
Oh.
Inshallah. So Dalia, we are here to talk about how you transitioned from having a job, like a day job, to freelancing, and it was like a really interesting journey, as we talked once about. I want us to talk about, it would be nice for me and for the people who are listening if you can tell us about your mental and emotional transition throughout this period and the fears that you faced and how you overcame them, how you decided to do this step, and what do you think, how did you stand in front of, like, were there any obstacles that you put for yourself, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah.
So that's what we would like to talk about today. And also, sorry, before you start, we have 1 hour. So
Okay.
I'll let you know when we're close to it.
It sounds good. I was working, I'm like an architect by degree, and I was working as a full-time architect in a corporate. And I loved the experience. I learned so much from it. But I just reached the point after COVID when, during COVID, during lockdown, I felt like I was able to explore my creativity so much because I was home all the time. So I had the chance to like see designs that I have actually happen in front of me. And I felt like I was starting to feel a sense of why I went into architecture in the first place. And then as it ended, I was back in the office, and all of a sudden I'm back at a desk, and all those creative outlets disappeared again.
Hey, so you had like a little taste of it, and then
I joined architecture. I made this realization recently was because not because I wanted to design buildings, even though I love to design buildings, but because I loved making models. I used to see architecture students make models, and I used to. But it was such a multidisciplinary thing that I used to see, and then in the office, you don't have that opportunity to explore it in all senses. That was, and then فلما رجعت الoffice and I noticed that I was back at my desk job, and even though I'm still learning and I'm still like developing my design from a corporate level, I really missed the sense of fulfillment that I used to receive from working on my own. So, and then once I made that realization, every day at the office got harder and harder for me to show up because it felt more and more like I was doing this thing against my will, شوية.
Hey.
And then it became like again, even though I had a great experience, but it just started to feel like I was being dragged in شوية. So once I reached that point, حسيت, and at the same time, I was starting to post a little bit on Instagram and off a bit. فحسيت إن ثانية, there's something that people want to see more of, and this is the thing that I want to do more of.
Yeah.
I was like, خلاص, I'm out. And I remember I sat with my parents. I'm like, you guys, I'm quitting. And my dad was like, for what? And I was like, I'm quitting. You have a job? And I was like, no. Like, I have to have a job to quit. And I was like, no, it's different this time. I need to be out. I need to get out. خلاص.
Wow.
And obstacle number one was convincing my like Egyptian professor father that I'm quitting for no reason.
red line under professor, father.
I'm just quitting بس كده.
Wow.
إيه.
Like, if it says anything, it says how much you felt like you want it.
And like if I يعني at my core I knew that I would be good at it, and I knew that I just needed to give it time because I've been able to manage working 9 to 6/7/8 and still have time on the side. I just believed, I knew it. I knew in that low, if I focus on it and I gave it time, I can do it well and right. Yeah, I quit. As I told you, I booked a one-way to New York. I went, visited my sisters. I took some time for myself, whatever. I came back, and I was ready to go again. And then one of the things that I started to go through was, in order for me to feel successful and like I'm doing a good job, I gotta stay really rigid in my schedule. I gotta work 9 to 6. I gotta wake up and go to the office, and I had to rent a studio, and I would go, and I was so rigid with my schedule and my time that it was getting in my way of creativity. لأن I was trying so hard to not feel like I'm just عارفة kind of free.
Winging it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So strict مع نفسي. And that was another mental issue that I had to get through. It was that I was feeling that same rigidity, but I was the one doing it على نفسي just so that I don't treat myself. Yeah. To the point, like, I'd be at the studio and I'd be working on something, and it would be 6 or 7 p.m. and I'm like, you have to go home. And in my head, I'm like, but you're sleeping. And I'm like, no, it's him.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah, actually.
And it's like, I feel like it's part of you that's, as you said, in order for you to feel successful. Like, it's that part of you that feels like, no, I still have a job.
Exactly.
You know?
And I'm like,
yeah.
Didn't quit بس كده for nothing. No, you have a plan lined up for you. You're doing something. You're waking up and getting out of bed and like going to an office.
And that stood in front of your creativity, like that stunted your creativity.
A little bit. Like I can say that I'm very grateful in the fact that I was still able to create, but I really do think that I could have created more and more freely had I just allowed myself a little bit of freedom, because creativity can't be forced. And I knew this when I was in the office. So then why forcing it on myself when I was alone?
That insecurity just coming up. So when you realized that, what did you do?
So I developed a morning routine that was outside of work. So instead of waking up and immediately starting to work, I woke up, go for a walk, listen to a podcast, take some time for myself, plan my day.
I love this.
One of the podcasts is Dr. Joe Dispenza. But yes, a morning routine that was entirely outside of work. And in that time that I gave myself hours, I would feel like, okay, when I'm going to get back, now I'm excited, I'm going to work on this, I'm going to work on that, whatever. And then I allowed myself the freedom to work when I get an idea and not just at a certain time. فمش لازم work 9 to 6. ممكن I can chill out مثلا till 2, even though I don't chill, but I can chill out till 2 p.m. And then خلاص, now I'm going to work till 8.
Like you get something.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. And when you started doing that, you started seeing what happened.
I started seeing so much more results in my productivity. And even though I was talking to a friend about this recently, I worked in a lot of ways. I'd work for less hours, but the time that I spent working was so much more productive. So rather than spend 5 hours to finish an hour task, I would sit for the hour and finish that hour task. And then I'm like, yalla, what's next? Now I have another hour, and I would sit for that hour and finish my next hour task. But it was so much more, flexible timing definitely worked better for me. I just saw the comment. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
But the one thing that I wasn't flexible about, and I'm still not flexible about, is my morning routine. Like that's good, so that I can make sure that I give myself that kind of freedom. Yeah.
Just to set your day, like the tone of your day.
Exactly.
Yeah. I have a morning routine now, and it's true. Like the days I don't do it, I'm a bit off. Like I'm not as productive. A little bit moody, cranky.
Exactly.
That's amazing. And then, so how did it? Tell us more about what you did. What happened when you? When you started getting the jobs, people started. When you created the Instagram account, what did you do?
So, Anna, the first thing that I did during lockdown, because IKEA was sold out, because every single person during lockdown was redecorating their rooms. But I was like, and exactly. Like, I was on TikTok a lot when at the time. I was always scrolling through TikTok, and I feel like I was able to uh, curate my algorithm in the sense that everything that was coming up on TikTok was health and wellness, design, interior design, creativity, whatever. And I would see so many people doing DIYs. And in my head, I was like, I can totally do this. I need a new stool. I have so and so paint. Let me make it and record it, because I've watched everybody record it, and I feel like I'll try and see what happens. And I put the camera on, and I started recording, and I put it on time. I didn't even like know how to edit. I didn't know anything. I just started recording and I did it. And I posted like a random day من غير ما أفكر, and I just put my phone away, and then I came back to my phone a few hours later when I had something like 100,000 views حاجة كده on it, and I was like, whoa.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm famous.
I'm famous.
What to do next? But in general,
100,000 views.
yeah, like, and like, you don't understand. I posted it and I literally put my phone away. حتى ما فكرتش إن I posted something. بس حطيتها كده just to have it. Yeah. And then when I posted it on my own Instagram, all my friends and family were like, you should post this on a public account and like keep document all of the things that you do. For everything that I would post, I would do, I would make sure that I was like documenting it well and properly, whatever, and I would be so excited about what I'm gonna post next. So the next thing that I did was I started to take glass bottles from cafes, things. So I took a glass bottle from Elate and I turned it into a diffuser. Well, again, the response was really good, and I realized, not only do I love designing in a sustainable way, people love to see sustainable design.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's so inspiring in me, yani, to kind of help people see the potential of the things that they have lying around their space.
Yeah.
So another push. Then I went to another cafe. I had a volume glass bottle. I turned it, and that was my first ever collaboration / like something came out of it. Volume had reached out to me to do a 30-piece collection معاهم of redoing their vases into their bottle.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was like, I want to say my first client technically was Volume.
Yeah. Well, technically, yeah.
It just kind of picked up from that. People would see something on Instagram and they would DM me, and in the beginning I kind of like let people bring me what they want, and I would come up with the idea for them. I kind of left the door open for people to tell me what they want from me, and understanding of what I can do with that. And then I had people like coming up to me being like, I saw that you did an IKEA console, can you make one for me? And I'd be like, sure, I'll make one for you. And then somebody will be like, can you design something for me out of IKEA products, which was the media console that I did.
I love that.
And I was like, yeah, I'll do that too. And then deep down, no matter what, I still had an idea that I still wanted to pursue architecture. I just needed to find a way to make architecture fit in a way that was multidisciplinary and a way that wasn't rigid so much. Then I started doing some more interior spaces and architectural spaces, and alhamdulillah, like all the work that I got through Instagram and TikTok pretty much. And it's amazing because people come to me knowing the way that I design and the style that I design, and for that set, I don't have to prove or convince them or anything. Like, they came to me for a certain look, and that's the look that I show and I promote.
You provide,
it worked out so that, like, alhamdulillah, I haven't even had a bad experience yet, because everybody kind of knows what they want when they come to me.
We had a question from ArchiPost. How do you feel about architecture? A question from a fellow architect. We're both fellow architects too.
I love architecture. I'll never not love architecture. It's like the big umbrella. But for me, I just want to make sure the way that I pursue architecture is more sustainable. I do think that there's so much waste and there's so much eliminating and starting from scratch. And for me, I'd love to promote this idea of like adaptive reuse and work with what you have, make it better, make it fit the needs and the times without starting from scratch. But I do love architecture. Inshallah, eventually I'd love to have more of an adaptive reuse / sustainable practice. But for now, I think that there's something about learning small in order to apply big, in a sense.
Yeah. I hope that answers your question, Archipost. So can you tell us about your collaboration with Safat?
Yes, during my last month of work, I was approached to be a part of a reality show called Room Over, which was 12 designers and 12 influencers, or like, yeah, I would say influencers.
You had
Uh,
you had started your account and you had already were doing the yeah.
yeah. So I got approached to be one of the designers and design for an influencer and her two daughters.
Mm.
During that time, I started working with Safat because Safat had sponsored the show, in the sense every designer got 1,000 KD, 2,000 KD worth of furniture from Safat to decorate the rooms.
Mm.
I developed a relationship with them, and the team there are amazing. Inshallah, it's just like power women, and I love them. And from there, I started working on. I made an outdoor furniture experience معهم, where I got to choose outdoor furniture of my choice and kind of design it how I would.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So how does it feel being a freelancer?
It feels, alhamdulillah, it feels amazing. There's obviously so many challenges that come with it that I didn't think of before,
Mm.
but it feels really good to, I want to say, be in control of my designs, not so much of my work, but be in control of the ideas that I have, and I get to apply them and see them happening. That's a really, really, really cool thing about freelancing, is that in the sense, in T, what you imagine and what you dream of is kind of what you're going to put and
Mm.
see how.
And how do you deal with those challenges that you face?
I
If you
learned,
can share any
I
kind
learned,
of.
and with every project that I take, there's a new challenge that I didn't know about before. And every time I struggle big time with it, and I learn from it. And then the next time I'm more careful of it, but I'll make a new mistake because I hadn't known about, and every single time there's something new to learn for me. Challenges about dealing with clients, learning how to price was a big one. Also learning how to time management was a rough one. برضو, not rough, but يعني, it was something that I needed to learn. Then there's this idea of when you're in a job in an office, the work is kind of given to you. They're like,
Yeah.
this is what you're gonna work on for next month or whatever. This is your submission date, and this is how much you're gonna get paid at the end of the month. When you're freelancing, you have to find the work. You have to make sure that you have the right amount of work that can sustain you. You have to be aware of who you're dealing with and how much you're pricing and how much you're going to make. And if you don't make this money this month, how much are you going to make next month? And it's constantly like, you're no longer just the architect. Now I'm the architect, I'm the receptionist, I'm the secretary, I'm the accountant, I'm everything under the sun. That's a challenge, but also I learned so much more about all the different aspects of a business.
How do you so out of like my personal experience, when I deal with those when I used to deal with those challenges before, they used to like trigger my insecurity, trigger my the feeling of like, oh my God, what did I do? How did I do this to myself?
Yep.
I cannot do this. I don't know how to, like all those thoughts that would put you down.
Yes.
So do you have those thoughts, and how do you deal with them when they come?
For sure. I would like I was very much aware that I had imposter syndrome, and I would call my friends and be like, listen, I'm having imposter syndrome. But I don't
I'm diagnosing myself.
I understand it, but I still don't think I know what I'm doing, and I still don't know why I agreed to so and so project مثلا. And for sure, I would feel so insecure every time. Listen, I don't know how to do everything. I'm always gonna have a moment where there's something that I don't know how to do, and I need to learn how to do it. Those moments always started with, why are you even doing this? You're totally gonna fail. Like, what's the point? And every time I would figure
Oh
it
my God, yes.
every time, like no question, every single time في أوصل لمرحلة إن أنا دلوقتي I don't know what to do next. I'm like, ليه عملت كده في نفسك؟
But I love that point. You're totally gonna fail.
Yeah.
Why are you even trying? I mean, that's just
Yeah. And when you're office or you're working for someone, the failure ما بتجيش عليكي قوي,
Eh,
you know, like you kind of have a cushion of like
yeah,
somebody will help me figure it
I'm
out.
gonna
But
do
when
it
you're alone,
wrong. I'm not gonna fail. Like, I did it wrong.
exactly.
Yeah,
When you're alone, nah, I failed.
yeah.
But then always, I know this because every single time I would have a hurdle, I would go over it, I would learn, and I'd figure it out. And at the end, I'm like, I'm amazing. I'm like, I am a star.
I'm a star.
But
I love this.
now it's just about going into it from the beginning, knowing you're not gonna know what to do, but like every time, you're gonna figure it out. It's just من البداية بحس نفسي I'm gonna fail, or I feel that insecurity that you're talking about. I'm like, you're gonna make it. You're gonna be fine. It's fine. You figure it out. Like you figure everything out. And if you don't, you ask for help. عادي.
Mm. And I mean, with the more I put myself out there, so the more I personally do things that are out of my comfort zone, and then I just step over that hurdle of insecurity, and then like you find the solution like that, and everything is out there.
100%.
Everything is out there. Everything is literally out there and free. I mean, anything you need, it's there and it's for free.
Exactly. بعدين كمان this was a huge one for me. It really is okay to ask for help. It's fine. مش هتموتي. If you're struggling or you don't know how to do something, that's fine. Ask for help. It's totally okay, and somebody can know more about it than you, and they can help you.
Yeah.
عادي. This was a rough one in the beginning for me, by the way. Like
Yeah.
asking for help means I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, that's huge.
Huge.
And it is. And even with the podcasts and the morning routine, it's like when you grow your brain, it's amazing how things become okay. When a challenge approaches, it's like, okay, it's a challenge. Okay. So it's more just, and it's made me realize how anxious I used to be. Like I started seeing myself, seeing how I used to act and how I used to think, and it makes you realize how much it affects growing your business.
100%.
Because everyone has those challenges.
Exactly.
No one has it
No
just
one
like that.
figured out exactly how you deal with the challenges, I feel like. I remember I was doing a New Year's resolution post with my sister at the start of the year. It was like, and one of the questions was, what are your resolutions if like nothing could get in your way, if nothing was impossible? And I really thought of that point in my head. I was like, honestly, it's if I wasn't getting in my way.
Yes.
The environment isn't what's getting in my way. I'm what's getting in my way.
Yeah.
But once I like eliminated that tafkir, now it's every time there's a moment of struggle, I'm like, are you standing in your way or is something real standing in your way?
Yes.
And it's always like, yeah.
Doesn't it make you feel like, why am I different? Everyone else is working 7 to 2.
Yeah, especially when you start working at 2 and everybody's like on their way home, you kind of feel like, but it's work is work. Whatever it happens, it's fine. People do night shifts. Yeah.
And I feel like, doesn't it make you feel like, why am I different? I am different.
Exactly.
I mean, I am different. As you said, like, I'm a star, When you change those sentences that you tell yourself, when you shift those sentences, it's like, yeah, I am different. So yeah, it is what it is.
That's so true.
So what else can you tell us about your experience?
Let's see. I can say, like, it's the thing is in that now that I'm at the past year, even though again it was really quite a year of struggles, I can say that every single time that I felt doubt or questioned myself or thought that I was going to fail was probably the most time that I felt I learned something from it. So when I look back now at like my past year, it's the hardest moments that have really defined the year for me, because in those moments I saw myself persevering. Like, this is something that I would say to anybody who's thinking about starting a business is, you don't have to have it all figured out, and you don't have to know that you're going into it 100% perfect. You just have to know that you're able to push through. Best, if that's what you have, just the fact that you can push through, that's more than enough, I feel like, to sustain a business or an idea or a side or a freelancing or even at your career or your job at an office. If you just know that if there's a hurdle, you know that for yourself that you can keep pushing, that's more than enough, and everything else follows, I feel like.
What advice do you have for people who say, I don't know what my passion is?
Keep trying things. Like, go to yoga, go to a pottery class, pick up a book about feminism, go to a talk about the environment. Like, keep putting yourself in situations where you're learning and experiencing things from different disciplines. And I promise you, like, I've seen this in so many people and I saw it in myself, something's gonna click. And whatever it's that, go into it. فأنت you're at مثلا a talk, it's about the environment, and you're like, oh, that's kind of interesting. So then you pick up a book about the environment, and then you start watching documentaries about it, and then you'll find your passion kind of like through a wormhole, in a sense. You just, on a broader scale, expose yourself to different disciplines and different ideologies, and then once you find something that kind of makes you think twice, start like subcontext. Yeah, exactly. And go deeper and deeper, and then you'll find your passion, I feel like.
I feel like give yourself a chance, and it's when you have the, you know how when you went back to the office and you just can't, like, you want to go back, you want, it's like it's pulling you.
Yeah.
So it's when you explore those different things. Many people don't put themselves out there. So step one, put yourself out there. When you start putting yourself out there, there's this one thing that's gonna, like, really you feel like, oh, I want to go back to that. I want to go back to that.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's really important to listen to yourself.
I was just gonna. Yeah. Understand the things that give you a spark, that make you want to learn more about it, or make you think twice. And if you're before you go to sleep or on your road driving or whatever, and you're thinking about something, like, notice that you're thinking about these things and try to explore it further. Yeah.
Wow, I'm so amazed that you actually, like, quit your job.
Yeah.
I'm still amazed. I swear.
For nothing.
Wallah, yani, that's really amazing. Mashallah.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's okay. Let me rephrase it. It's not. I'm not amazed that you quit your job. I'm amazed that you found that passion that pulls you so strongly, strong enough that you went ahead and quit your job. I mean, I feel like it's a really, not rare thing, but it's a really special thing to find in your time in this world.
I find I feel like I'm so lucky and grateful that it happened, and I don't think that it's something that happened. يعني مش حاجة, I don't know how to explain it. It's like it kind of fell into my lap, even though I did do the things to make it happen to me. But the entire notion of the idea and the passion really fell into my lap. All of a sudden, I was passionate about something, and I'm like, whoa, like, I need to see this through.
That's really interesting. So if anyone has, they want sustainable furniture, like multidisciplinary forms of art, so they can contact you if they're redoing their rooms. You can also, like, do interior design?
Yes, and I do also consultations. So if you have a space that you want to transform, I can offer a consultation where we can discuss what you can do with the pieces or the space itself, to see how you can turn it into something different, but using what you have. I feel like that's such a key.
Using what you have. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. So who, like, everyone has or not everyone, I don't know about everyone, but I mean, many people have a group of people that help them, like, push them forward. Yeah. Sometimes it's people who support you, and sometimes it's people who put you down that actually help you move forward. Yeah. So who did you face? Who was there to support you? What was your experience with the people around you?
I'm obviously, like, I don't know if this is luck or me setting up my life. Best everyone around me is an architect. Everyone, you're an architect. Like everyone I know, all my friends are architects, and so in terms of like design, they were always super supportive of all my new ideas and the work that I do and everything. And when I'd come up with something, I have a little support group of people that I send it to. I'm like, look, the four of you, what do you think of this table, or what do you think of this page, or whatever? And they're always, yani, alhamdulillah, they're always pushing me. And then at the same time, my sisters were super supportive, and I was able to like get inspiration from them and discuss ideas with them and everything. And I'm alhamdulillah, I learned so much from the people around me, but I'm very lucky that the people around me are also very, very honest, but also have a design mind. They're able to like, in a sense, I have a friend who any idea that I have, I'm sending, and like haram, I'm sure I'm annoying because everything, I'm like, should I make it black or gold? And they're like, black. I'm like, okay, but what if I made it gold? And they're like, black. I'm like, yeah, those people I'm super, super, super grateful for. And then just in general, I have a really good circle, alhamdulillah. Like I really do. And it's always
Yeah.
غير كده.
Do you how do you how would you advise someone to create a good circle? What are the important things to do to have that healthy circle around you?
I feel like one of the most important things is you want to have the kind of people that are going to be honest and not hurtful. And I think that that's so important because there's some people who are going to be constructively negative all the time. And then there's a difference, I think, between somebody who's going to be like, I really like this table. I just think, مثلا, it should be like this, rather than being like, it's disgusting. Start from scratch. Find the people who make you feel motivated to do better and not who bring you down and make you feel like you don't want to do anything anymore. That's, I think, one of the most important things. For me, I'm not somebody who strives from negativity or not somebody who, the haters are going to make me want to grow more. I like positivity. I like people who know how to be honest with you and be real with you, but without actually striking you down.
Yeah. And I feel like a very important thing, I mean, remember when we talked about don't be afraid to ask for help?
Yes.
Don't be afraid to ask your friends questions. Don't like put yourself out there with your friends. You never know what kind of support you're gonna get. I mean, many times you underestimate your friends and how much they love you and how much they support you.
So true, actually.
Pick up that phone and start complaining, and they will listen. And they will bring you up. Yeah. I mean, because those thoughts are just everywhere, those negative thoughts that are bringing you down. But when you find those friends.
Yeah, another thing too is if you're struggling, obviously not everybody is lucky enough to meet the people or surround themselves with the people that like they feel super comfortable with. I understand that, but so then in that case, I feel like make sure that you're surrounding yourself on social media with the right kinds of people. So make sure that you're following people who are influential but not toxically positive. Make sure if you're interested in design, follow designers on TikTok and Instagram. If you're interested in self-help, follow people who are like psychologists or therapists or whatever. Like just make sure that if you're not able to surround yourself in real life with the right circle, that you're on at least online. The people whose voices and faces you're seeing when you're on the phone are the motivating kind to whatever you want to be motivated for.
And like everything is available online now.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Any kind of podcast you want to listen to, any kind of, I mean, YouTube.
Yeah.
It's like.
And TikTok.
And TikTok.
Yeah.
Do not underestimate TikTok. Oh my God, I remember that post you put. Remember when I said, you posted a post that said, when I tell you I heard something.
I read it in an article.
I heard it on TikTok.
Every time I'm like, I read somewhere that if you take Madhushana with whatever, it's not good for you. And I literally had just seen a 20-second video on it.
بس I mean, TikTok and Instagram is just like, sometimes I feel like not sometimes, I always say this, TikTok and Instagram are like um, uh, it shows you what like the universe is like. It's a
It's like,
physical version of manifestation, you know.
exactly.
It's like the more you look for something, the more you get
The
it,
more
the
you
more
get,
you see it.
and it's like, if you're interested in this, you're gonna get 30 videos about it. So like, be prepared to learn.
Yes, exactly. So everything is out there. I mean, even graphics. And remember how when you said you started with the video and you took a video, like even the editing, you always think, oh my God, their videos are gorgeous and I can't do that. Just start.
Just start. Literally, the way that I edited that video was I put my camera, I put it on time lapse, and I just recorded. I didn't think about camera angles, I didn't think about anything. And it was one video, like a series of one videos, but I just put it together on the TikTok app, like without overthinking. And it's one of my best doing videos, and it's the one of the least things that I thought about. Like now I think more about my videos than I did when I had first
Mm.
started. So
Yeah,
just do
yeah, just do it. Just, yeah. I think that was a big part for me also. Just do it. I mean, overthinking, it's usually exactly. So anything else you'd like to say, Dalia? Anything else you'd like to share with anyone who's starting fresh and starting new?
Well, I want to say, because we talked a lot about quitting and freelancing, that as much as like it's an incredible way to do it, if you are comfortable in an office and if you feel like you are getting everything that you need from working in an office, and you feel like you like working on one, like not one thing, but you like being having kind of a focused path, that's awesome too. Like I think the idea is always to just do the thing that makes you feel like you're reaching the potential that you want to reach. But
Mm.
if whatever it is, if it means quitting, or if it means working, or if it means becoming like the CEO, by all means, just make sure that
Yeah,
you're the potential that you want to reach. I feel like that's really important.
yeah. It's that feeling that you had towards
Exactly.
uh, doing your creative artwork.
Yeah,
If you have that feeling anywhere in life,
exactly.
that's what you should go for, because that's what keeps you going. That's what keeps you healthy. That's what keeps you motivated. That's what keeps you sane.
So important.
Yeah,
Because you're living the day, like every day of your life is a day of your life. So you have to make sure that you're spending it doing something that you want to be doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Feeling content. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. I mean, a lot of people think that they don't have the privilege to quit their job, and you don't need to have that privilege. I mean, you can find your passion in your job
Yeah.
while you're on the job.
Exactly.
And I mean, when you started before quitting your job.
I did.
Yeah,
I started
yeah,
before. Yeah.
yeah. So it's not necessarily this or that. You
No,
can do both.
exactly. That's actually a really good point. Huwa kida, I got the ball rolling, and I noticed
Yeah,
that, okay, there's something happening there that I'd like to pursue. But I could have never done it without having done it while I was at the job, to be honest.
yeah. And you
Yeah.
had the يعني you were lucky that you took advantage of the time you had in
Yeah.
Corona.
Yes, I was actually.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
feel like so this is something I've learned recently, that we don't really take advantage of the things that we have.
No.
We keep on looking at the things that we don't have. And it's like,
That
oh, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have blah, blah, blah. And if you just stop saying that and start looking at what you have and working with what you have.
that's so true. Even like from like a philosophical level, you can argue that that's so true. If you have the time to sit on your phone and scroll before bed, you have the time to prepare like a 20-minute idea plan, for example, for something that you
Yeah,
want to do. Sign up for a class that you're interested in the next day. Yani if you have, and then from also like a physical perspective, if you want to redo a space or redo your room, you have the furniture probably in your house that you can actually make work or fit, and just add a paint or add a coat. But I feel like that what you just said applies on such a grand scale, like a physical scale and a philosophical scale as well.
sorry, can you repeat that? It was cutting off.
I was saying, and what you said applies perfectly in the sense that it's whether it's a time thing or a physical thing, you can it's that's the idea is you have the things or you have the time or you have the space and you
Yeah,
just have
to find,
yes.
yeah, find something here and something here and something here and just slowly build on it, slowly
And
build on it.
when you say I don't have the time to, it's not about giving 2 or 3 hours. You need sometimes 15, 20 minutes a day just to start seeing
Yeah,
something. You don't have to like set half your day to pursue something or to make time for something that you're interested in. Just give yourself 15, 20 minutes to start. And if you're interested, you'll give it more.
like for example, today I was finishing my steps.
Yes.
So I was working and I have to finish my steps, right?
Yep.
While I was finishing my steps, I was literally on the phone. I was talking with Mufida, like doing like a semi meeting on the phone, and I was working on a reel that I'm doing. So I was finishing my steps, I was doing a reel, and I was doing Mufida's meeting all at
Exactly.
the same time.
Exactly.
So it's if you manage your time. I personally stopped watching shows. I started listening to podcasts on the way to work and back to work. It's just it's and start little by little. Just add 15 minutes and then add, as you said, like a little bit more, a little bit
Bite
more.
size. And that's something that I do حتى for work. I'll set a timer and I'm like, I'm gonna work on this task for 40 minutes. And this, a friend of mine had told me to do this and I learned it from her. As soon as the 40 minutes is done, I'm not done ready to stop working. So I'll extend my timer.
Yeah.
But I started myself that 40 minutes to focus on it. لما يجي ال 40 minutes وعايزة أكمل أنا دلوقتي فتحت الباب فأكمل.
Hey. Oh my God! You know what? How where I found that to benefit me working out.
Yes.
I started putting 20 minutes, like just finish 20 minutes. Every time I finish 20 minutes, I can do 15 more.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then after 15, I'm done.
Yeah, بس خلاص.
Okay, I'm done.
Today I was listening to a podcast and he was saying the same thing. He was saying, there was a guy who decided that he wanted to start working out. So he would allow himself to go to the gym for 5 minutes every single day. Only 5 minutes, 5 minutes maximum. He would set a timer and he would go and he would just, in the middle of his workout, he'd go back, get back in his car. So he was saying, and what that guy was doing was just mastering the art of showing up. So just getting that.
Wow, mastering the art of showing up. I love that.
So he was like, just getting that habit going made him, now he's like lost, I don't know how much weight, and he's been able to keep it off for like 10 or 15 years
Wow.
because he developed that just by showing up. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are so afraid, like, I mean, we're going to drift into other things now. Of course. I mean, creating a habit, it's so interesting when you start learning more about how you can create a new habit.
True.
And I feel like one thing that helped me a lot in business, in working on my business with Mufidas and with like now You Are the Market, is not focusing on the task, but focusing on the habit.
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, I have to create reels, I have to post this, I have to post this. So it's not about I want to have followers or I want to whatever. No, it's about, okay, I have to be consistent.
Yep.
That's what I'm doing. I want to be consistent.
100.
I want to create the habit of being consistent.
ما هو that's the thing, and it's even the way that I do my to-do list before was task-based, and now it's time-based. So I check off 30 minutes rather than checking off send the email, and I check off 40 minutes rather than checking off finish the video. It's all it's all time-based now, and I feel like it's so much better at developing habits than it is when you're like, okay, no, I need to finish this whole thing so I can check it off. لا مش لازم. Just give yourself the time.
And when you give yourself a time, as you remember, as you said, like your brain starts, like your brain would shift this task into that time frame that you put it into.
Exactly.
And because suddenly you just start being just much more productive.
So true.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Dalia.
Thank you so much for having
never
me.
get bored of talking to you.
Like,
Habibti, best of luck.
thank
I'm
you.
so happy for you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
I had a
I
blast.
love our talk. And inshallah, we'll have more live talks with you.
Inshallah, for sure.
Inshallah.
Yes.
Habibti, best of luck.
So much,
Can't
Hassan.
wait to see your other designs, Habibti.
Bye.
Bye.